What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker.
Amir, Rahimi.
And today, on The Great Debaters, we are going to discuss two of Eminem's albums and see which one is better. Get ready. Alright, Amir, so obviously Eminem is the best-selling rap artist of all time. Whether or not you like him, hate him, whatever, he is the best-selling rap artist of all time, and in my opinion, is a phenomenal artist. And in my opinion, we're picking the two best Eminem albums to debate here to see which one is better. So we have the Marshall Mathers LP, which came out in 2000, and the Eminem Show, which came out in 2002. Both these albums sold more than 10 million copies each. Both of them were, hugely popular, obviously, but then spawned a bunch of singles, helped propel 8 Mile to the top of the blockbuster, top of, the box office, and led to Eminem going from the Slim Shady LP being amazingly popular, but then to becoming a phenomenon with these two albums. So, Amir, let's start with the Marshall Mathers LP, which has two different covers and also came out in the year 2000 and really that's what made Eminem a superstar. So for you, coming from the Slim Shady LP and his work prior to that, when you started hearing the Marshall Mathers LP or songs off of it, what were you thinking?
I think he got better production, and I think this was his real start to even. I mean, there were some mainstream aspects, obviously, to Slim Shady LP, mainly My Name Is, but Guilty Conscience I don't think was super, mainstream or whatever. But with songs like The Real Slim Shady, Please Stand Up, and The Way I Am, and Stan, obviously, I thought that this was just, he's gonna sell a lot, and
he did.
Diamond, you don't hear that thrown ever, really, in rap.
Not
it's
all.
hard. It's hard.
It's a rarefied air. And also for you guys to make sure you understand, like a Diamond is selling, at the time it was selling 10 million. But the trick of it is that they would always say, like Life After Death, All Eyes on Me, and even Speaker Box Love Below, they would say are Diamond. But back then they counted double albums selling one copy, they counted as two. So those numbers that you hear for double albums, you always have to put them in half. This album, by comparison, actually sold more than 10 million copies, which is phenomenal accomplishment, So going through Amir, like this album, I remember when it came out, and I remember listening to it, and the lyricism I thought was exemplary. I thought Dr. Dre did the majority of the production on this album, and the production is just astronomically good. Melman, of course, worked on a lot of it as well, and is just, from the Kill You song, I just remember thinking, like, what is this dude doing? Like, this was an album that I remember hearing Eminem on, like, 7L and Esoteric, and, like, Shabam Sadiq, and all these other underground stuff and stuff he did with Ruckus, and I remember just thinking, like, man, this dude is awesome. And then when he got popular with the Slim Shady LP, then I was like, oh, okay, he's applying it well with some coaching from Dre. But then this album, I thought he took a step to his older, like, rhyming crazy, phenomenal punchlines, similes, and metaphors, like on Kill You, to where that could have been something that Ruckus would have put out maybe if it had like more drums and stuff. I'm saying more lyrically, not sonically. So I was just like, what is this? And then Remember Me is another another one of those.
Oh my God.
And then I remember at this point, I never looked at, when I would get albums, I never looked at who was on them or the song titles or anything, because I just wanted to be like surprised. And I remember hearing Sticky Fingers and RBX on Remember Me, and I was just like, this song is astoundingly, astronomically good.
Bro.
What is this? What is going on right now? I was like, this is astonishing.
How about when Eminem had that line where he's like, I'm missing my trench coats and my guns and all that. Who had the best verse? That could be a whole nother video. Who had the best verse on that song? That was just, that's, oh my God. Yeah. And you were saying, who would have expected those features on an
Never.
Eminem album?
Never.
I would have never thought of that.
Absolutely.
Either one of them, to be honest with you.
No, because, I didn't know what was going on with RBX at the time, but I didn't know he was back affiliated with Dre. And then Sticky Fingers, I knew was supposedly did or was going to or whatever with Aftermath, but because it never really manifested, I wouldn't have expected him to be with Eminem. And I didn't know, it was just totally blindsided me. And I remember hearing it just being totally blown away. And that beat is so non-commercial, but it sounds so like forceful and amazing and just phenomenal work.
I can't comment on that. You're right. What do you want me to say?
So then the most incongruous song is the Kim song, which to me is one of the most chilling songs I've ever heard because it's very personal and very specific to their relationship and details a lot of it from what I read about and also from what I know, but it's very chilling and very like, that's what Rage sounds like. And the fact that he didn't rap on it and he sang and then kind of screamed it, I was just like, this is also an amazing song, just being very different and how it just blew me away too, because I had no knowledge of the fact that he was going to make a song like that. It was just crazy.
Bro, that song, it's important, that's actually the one song that when I talk about this album, I ask people, do they like it? Because typically people love the album, but this song, they either love it or they hate it. And I think this is just oh my god, as you said, the screaming, just even hearing Haley, just all this stuff on it, and just even the impersonation of Kim was just like, the story is just like nuts. And he had it like on Slim Shady LP with like Bonnie and Clyde theme, stuff like that, but this was just like, took that to a whole freaking other level.
Yeah.
And speaking of storytelling, we have to, talk about Stan, which is one of the best stories ever.
That might be his best song. If not, I don't know what is up in that caliber. But that song, I remember, if you guys ever watched it, the Ultimate albums that I wrote and produced for VH1 on this very album, I remember when I interviewed Jimmy Iovine and Eminem about this song and just talking about it, it was amazing how he did it on The Way I Am also, but not in the same way, but just how Eminem was able to like give you an insight into his world, but his world as it's, impacted by being famous and like having all these invasions of privacy and different things, and then the lunacy that we were seeing with the fans becoming these like super obsessed people caring about your every move and like taking everything you say literally and not looking at it as art. And that, to me, it was just a brilliant song. And how 45 King came up with the sample because he had seen it on the Sliding Doors movie late one night when he couldn't sleep, or he had fallen asleep and woke up and heard it. Like, that whole story when we got that for the show was amazing. And then, of course, Dido just launched her whole career. So that song is just so amazing on so many levels, and showed that Eminem's songwriting was so vast and so varied.
Yeah, man.
And this album is like such a testament to that. And then you get back to a song like Bitch Please 2, which is like, boom, now we're back on some rapping stuff. And of course I love Exhibit's performance on there, and like Snoop, just everybody on that song. I thought it was just, one, like I said, I didn't look at the song or the track list, so I was just like, man, this sounds like the Bitch Please beat. And then it was like, oh, they just did part 2, and they, got Dre and Eminem on it. And I was like, this is incredible. Like,
hey, as they say, we gonna shit on him 2 times, Dr. Dre. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So that was incredible. And I think I also liked on The Way I Am how he paid homage by using Rakim's line. You see like Eminem's love and appreciation for rap on that song, and obviously his whole thing is about how much he loves rap. So Like, this album is incredible, but with no further ado, let's move on to the other album in this discussion, the Eminem Show, which, to me, just with the White America starting off the album, you know, not knowing anything about the album when I listened to it, and just kind of, you know, obviously hearing the, you know, you hear the singles first, but listening to the album and hearing that as the first song, kind of taking, you know, what people were saying about him, about being a white rapper, and kind of throwing it back in their face and using it well. Kind of like people say with Biggie with Black and Ugly as Ever, Ashy and all that stuff. You know, Eminem kind of like was like, okay, that's what you want to do? And I just thought that was an amazing start to the album.
It was.
And I know you like starts to albums in there, so break it down.
I mean, it was a very different start to the album from Kill You. This was a very serious approach, whereas the other one was just like Venom, you know.
Right.
No, it's an excellent start to an album, and it's pretty political. And I thought it was kind of interesting, the sequencing, how that went into business, I believe. I thought that was a little interesting, but no, I thought it was a very important statement, and Eminem talking about influence, and I could be one of your kids, and serious, because this guy went diamond, and his voice is being heard everywhere, and it's not just a U.S. phenomena, it's a worldwide phenomena. This guy, people dyeing their hair, stands, all this stuff is just like crazy.
And that plays in well to the Without Me single, of course, which, you know, obviously it was very commercial leaning sonically and all that other stuff, but I always thought that people kind of overlooked his, like, in the chorus with "this must mean I'm disgusting," because everybody wants to discuss me. Like, I just was like, dude, this guy, man, he's crazy. I thought that was amazing, but I think despite all of that for this album, I still think Till I Collapse might be my favorite song, because obviously with Nate Dogg on it, but just that beat and the way that he raps and like the content of just like persevering in the, you know, face of adversity and stuff. Dude, that song is so good.
And naming his favorite rappers and influences in that. Reggie, Jay-Z, Tupac, you know, is like amazing.
Yeah.
Dude, that song is an anthem song too. I mean, with Nate Dogg, I mean, incredible. Eminem. One thing that I want to talk about, and I know you know that I always mention these kind of things, but I love it. So one thing I want to discuss is one of the skits on it with the kiss, which was actually very important, you know, with basically giving kind of a little scenario of Kim and the bodyguard who Eminem assaulted, whatever.
Right.
But I thought the build-up in that skit was just so incredible into Soldier, and how you hear him rush the security guard or the bouncer, and then it goes right to Soldier. Yes, and I just thought it was just amazing. And talking about Dr. Dre, how he's orchestrating this, and Eminem is providing the lyrics and also the themes, I just thought was just like top tier stuff from a skit to a song. And that is one of my top 3 songs on the album, in my opinion. Is like amazing, dude.
Well, also like My Dad's Going Crazy is another one. I thought that was hilarious, because Eminem, I think on this album, the Eminem Show, I think did a good job of kind of examining himself, but whereas the Marshall Mathers LP was much from a darker perspective, I thought when he did it, this similar type of theme or exploration on the Eminem Show, I think he had a little more fun with it in general. Obviously there's super hard songs like Till I Collapse and all that, but you know, he did have a little more levity to it, which I thought was a nice contrast on the album, and I think, you know, it was super powerful. So what else did you like about the Eminem Show?
You know, it's going to sound interesting. I really like when the music stops. I really like how the beat is starting off and you just hear layers being added on throughout. I think then the beat officially kicks off at like the 40-50 second mark, something like that, and you just hear layers of it adding on. It's a posse cut. I really like that song a lot. I just thought it was pretty original as far as just adding layers onto the beat. That's one. And another one that I just really adore as well is Haley's song where he's singing. And it was a pretty experimental song, but I actually thought he did quite well on it.
on a similar note, and this was a single, so it's not one of the lesser known songs, but Clean Out My Closet, I like for the same reasons.
Not mention that one?
I like that for the same reasons because, you know, that's where he announced the Munchausen syndrome that he had, and then also just dealing with, it's one thing to have problems, it's another thing to be that open and transparent about it in your personal life. And I thought that he did an incredible job of it there and made it into a way that everyone or a lot of people could relate to. And I think that that's what makes that song so powerful, and why a song like that, which doesn't sound like it would be a radio song or a big commercial song or even a big video song, but it resonated with so many people.
Yeah.
So you know, that's that. So let's get to it, Amir. We gotta say on our debate. So we've gone through the Marshall Mathers LP and the Eminem Show, Eminem's second and third major label albums.
Mm-hmm.
So which of these two do you think is better and why?
I think Marshall Mathers LP is better. It's also my favorite Eminem album, obviously. It's every song on there I enjoyed. It was rough. It has anthems. It has stories. Not to say Eminem Show does not. One song we did not mention, which is actually probably my favorite, not I think it's the best, but my favorite, Marshall Mathers, the self-titled song. I think it's just like exceptional.
Just Marshall Mathers.
And he mentions Cartman and stuff. It's like
right.
Amazing. Stan. One thing that I also want to mention about Stan and why I also think it's like amazing is, and I don't know the story as to why he chose the name Stan. I don't know. Maybe you know and you can enlighten us. But I just thought it was so interesting. You know, he could have named the song Bob or George or something, but Stan. And to now hear people generations after saying, calling these obsessed fans Stans, and maybe they don't even know where the origination's from.
Right.
I see people in 2018 saying, "Oh, this guy's a Stan," and not even referencing Eminem. It's referencing like, I don't know, 6ix9ine or like
right.
someone just so random. So I go with MMLP.
All right. For the same reasons and different reasons, I'm also going to go with the Marshall Mathers LP because I think it's a amazing album, and I do think that in generally speaking, as much as I like the Eminem Show, there were a couple songs I didn't like as much, and I thought at times the production wasn't as stellar as it is throughout the Marshall Mathers LP.
Yeah.
So there are a few tracks on the Eminem Show that I didn't think were as great as the rest of the project. So for that reason, the Marshall Mathers LP, you know, of course I like some songs more than others, but the songs I didn't like, I still thought were great songs, more or less. So for that reason, I'm going with the Marshall Mathers LP. So that's what Amir and I think, but you guys make sure to hit us up in the comment section, like, share, subscribe, follow us, let us know what you guys think of this debate on the best two Eminem albums between the Marshall Mathers LP and the Eminem Show. I'm Soren Baker.
Rahimi.
Check us out, y'all, the great debaters. Hit us up.